Hey gang, what's going on? Sorry I'm a little late with this video. This is going to be a recap of what happened with the trade deadline and what moves were made. I do appreciate the support, and if you could and you have not done so, please hit that like, subscribe, bell icon buttons, as well as the share button. Share this out with everyone you know. I am on the road to 600 subs, and I greatly appreciate all the support that you guys have given me. Can't thank you guys enough, so thank you all for supporting the channel. Let's get into it. So there were a plethora of moves made over the trade deadline. There were moves from multiple teams, and I will give you my final grades of the trade deadline as soon as I read off these trades and get them out to you. So let's get on with it. So trade one was between Miami and Arizona. Miami acquired infielder Davison De Los Santos and center fielder Andrew Pinter from Arizona, while in return Arizona acquired left-handed relief pitcher AJ Puk. It's a great move for Arizona. I got one of the better bullpen arms from Miami. He can really solidify that bullpen and give them a chance to get back to the postseason and really be a staple for that bullpen. It is a good move. He does have a couple of controllable years, and like I said, he is a big arm. And with them taking Paul Sewald out of the closer's role, Puk could possibly fill in for them in that role himself. So Arizona gets AJ Puk in that deal. Trade two is between Tampa Bay and Seattle. Seattle said they were going to be very aggressive in trying to get a couple bats, and they did. They went out and succeeded with that. So trade two is between Tampa and Seattle. The Rays acquired outfielder Aiden Smith and right-handed pitcher Brody Hoskins. The Mariners acquired outfielder Randy Arozarena. Now, Randy Arozarena is a bat that they're really needing. I know he's had a down year this year. His bat speed's kind of slowed down, but it's a good pickup for them, especially if he does end up losing some of that weight and some of that muscle and get his bat speed back up to where it can be and where we all have seen it to be at. He was also a trade target for the Dodgers, so it's a good piece to add for Seattle. They do get another outfielder to go along with J-Rod, who is on the IL currently, but is probably going to be back this season sometime later in the year. And Tampa gets prospects, so this is what Tampa does. They trade their pieces and get prospects in return. Trade three is between Baltimore and Philadelphia. The Orioles acquired right-handed pitcher Sir Anthony Dominguez and outfielder Christian Pache, who's been around the league a little bit. He started with Atlanta, went to Milwaukee. I think he was with one other team before Philadelphia, but he might have just gone to Philadelphia after Milwaukee. In return, the Orioles sent outfielder Austin Hayes, who's been in their system his whole career. He goes to Philly and is now another piece to that lineup. It's a good trade for both teams. Tampa Bay is getting some controllable pieces, and Philadelphia is getting a bat that they could use. I know that everyone was talking about Mike Trout possibly going to Philadelphia, but Mike Trout's hurt. He hasn't been healthy for a good minute. It's sad because his career's a very good career, but it's been plagued by injuries. So Austin Hayes gets them a nice piece to add into that lineup. Next trade is also another Tampa Bay move, this time where they're acquiring a piece. It's between the Mets and Tampa. So the Mets get cash considerations, and the Rays get right-handed pitcher Cole Slusser from the Mets. So it gives them a piece to add to the bullpen. It gives them a nice, a pretty decent arm from the Mets. He was having a rough year. I think I haven't really been following him that much, but it's a nice move for Tampa Bay. It gets them an arm in the bullpen, and they really do give some they can get some stability from him if they work with him and get his stuff right. The next trade is also on trade for the Mets. This time the Mets are acquiring and receiving a pitcher. So trade 5 is between Seattle and the Mets, and the Mariners get outfielder Raylan Thomas, while the Mets acquire right-handed pitcher Ryan Stanek. It's a good move for the Mets. After trading away Cole Slusser to Tampa Bay, they get a pitcher right back in Ryan Stanek, who could be a really nice piece to that bullpen, take some of that pressure off of their bullpen, and help out becoming a bridge to Edwin Diaz. So good move on the Mets' part for getting Ryan Stanek. Next trade is between, this is trade 6, and that's between the Cubs and the Pirates. So 2 division rivals. Weren't expected, but this trade deadline was full of surprises. The Pirates got cash considerations for outfielder Gilberto Celestino. So an outfielder going to the Cubs and cash going to Pittsburgh. I mean, I haven't really followed Celestino, but seems like it's going to be an okay move for the Cubs. Can add some depth to that team, while the Pirates acquire some cash. Trade 7 is between the Dodgers and the Red Sox. The Dodgers acquire infielder Moises Bolivar. Forgive me if I've botched the name. And the Red Sox reacquire left-handed pitcher James Paxton, who the Dodgers DFA'd. Or I think they might have even optioned him, but anyways, the Red Sox reacquire left-handed starting pitcher James Paxton, so that gives them another starter to that rotation. Trade 8 is between Toronto and Seattle, who was very busy this deadline as well. The Blue Jays acquired outfielder Jonathan Clase and catcher Jacob Sharp. In return, the Mariners got right-handed pitcher Yimi Garcia from Toronto. Nice move for the Mariners. They definitely needed some bullpen help, and they got a piece in Yimi Garcia, and that is to replace Ryan Stanek, who was traded to the Mets earlier in the deadline. So good move for them. Trade 9 is between Baltimore and Tampa, one of many Tampa Bay and Baltimore moves. The Rays acquired outfielder Matthew Etzel, right-handed pitcher Jackson Baumeister, I think it is, and utility man Mac Horvath. The Orioles acquired right-handed pitcher Zach Eflin from the Rays. Interesting move that the Rays would make, but they're willing to deal with anyone for the right price. They got what they wanted. They liked what they wanted, liked the package that the Orioles offered, so they made the deal. Zach Eflin is going to be a nice piece of that rotation, gives them some pitching depth, which has been hurt by injuries this year. So good move on the Orioles' part to do that. Also another nice move for the Rays, because they're loading up on prospects. This is what the Rays do. For those who don't follow them, or other teams outside the Yankees, but if you do, this is something that the Rays do. They get pieces, they trade them, and they get prospects. So good move on Tampa Bay's part and the Orioles' part. Trade 10 is between the Blue Jays and the Cubs. The Blue Jays sent outfielder Yohendrick Pinango, the Blue Jays acquired outfielder Yohendrick Pinango, while they sent right-handed pitcher, once a top prospect for the Blue Jays, Nate Pearson, to the Cubs. So the Cubs get some pitching depth, while the Blue Jays acquire a prospect in return. Trade 11 is between the Miami Marlins and the New York Yankees. The Marlins acquired catcher Agustin Ramirez, second baseman shortstop Jared Serna, and shortstop Abraham Ramirez. In return, the Yankees got outfielder Jazz Chisholm Jr., who has been fantastic so far for the Yankees, as we have seen. It's a great move for the Yankees. They needed that spark. They needed to make that move. I know that it was a move that some fans were not high on, but I am one to say that that is a move that I am a fan of. He has been fantastic since coming over, and I really like the move. Marlins got some good pieces in return as well, but that was a great move on the Yankees' part to get Jazz Chisholm. Trade 12 is between Colorado and Milwaukee, where the Rockies acquired right-handed pitcher Bradley Blaylock and right-handed pitcher Henry, I think it is, Herrera. Again, I apologize if I botched the name. And the Brewers acquired right-handed pitcher Nick Mears from Colorado. So Nick Mears goes to Colorado or goes to Milwaukee. It's some good pitching depth to get for them because they're looking to make a run at the Central. So good move on them. Rockies, I don't expect to do much, so they're getting a couple of pieces that they can add for depth later on in their future. Trade 13 is between two AL East rivals in Toronto and Boston. The Blue Jays got infielder Cutter Coffey, while the Red Sox acquired former Blue Jay catcher Danny Jansen. And the Yankees saw him in that Red Sox-Yankee series. Gives them some catching depth, gives them some veteran leadership on that team. It's a good move for Boston. We'll see how Danny Jansen plays out in a Red Sox uniform. Trade 14 is between the Angels and the Phillies. The Angels sent right-handed pitcher George Casson and left-handed pitcher Samuel. Apologize if I mess this up. It's Al-Jahari, I think it is. So, right-handed pitcher George Clausen and left-handed pitcher Samuel Al-Jahari go to Philadelphia, and the two of Philadelphia's top pitching prospects, while the Phillies acquire right-handed pitcher Carlos Estevez, who I thought the Yankees should have gone out and acquired. It would have been a nice piece of that Yankees bullpen, but the Phillies get a very solid arm for that bullpen to close out games and be an anchor for that team's bullpen, especially when it comes playoff time. Trade 15 is between the Nationals and the Mets. Nationals acquired right-handed pitcher Tyler Stewart, and the Mets made the trade and got outfielder Jesse Winker. So get some more outfield depth, get another piece to try to make a run at that third wild card, which I believe they're only a half game out. Trade 16 is between Tampa and the Cubs, another Tampa Bay move. The Rays acquired right-handed pitcher Hunter Biggie, right-handed pitcher Ty Johnson, and infielder, which was the prize piece for Tampa Bay, Christopher Morel, who was also once a top prospect for the Cubs. Actually was the number one prospect. He actually came up, had a rough year this year. That's who the Rays wanted, and that's who they got. In return, the Cubs got third baseman, second baseman, and first baseman Isaac Paredes, one of the Yankees' targets. He was a target for many teams, but the Yankees and Dodgers were two of the most known targets for him, or destinations for him. So very good move on both teams' parts. They're getting two prospects and a very good ball player in Christopher Morel, and then Isaac Paredes, who's not a free agent until 28, is going to the Cubs, and that's going to be a nice piece for them for that team's future later on down the road. Coming up next in trade 17, it's between Detroit and Texas. The Tigers acquired catcher Liam Hicks and right-handed pitcher Tyler Owens, and the Rangers acquired catcher Carson Kelly. Nice move for the Rangers. Gives them some catching depth, gives them a veteran presence in that clubhouse. And the Tigers do get a catcher in return, so gets them younger, gets them a couple of prospects, so it's a good move for them. The next trade, in trade 18, which is the Rangers again and the Kansas City Royals. The Rangers acquired left-handed pitcher Walter Pennington, while sending right-handed pitcher Michael Lorenzen to the Kansas City Royals. Trade 19 is between Seattle and Cincinnati. Mariners acquired catcher Andrew Salcedo and they got him in return from the Reds for first baseman infielder Tyler France. This was the big money trade right here for the trade deadline, and it was a 3-team deal between the Dodgers, Cardinals, and White Sox. White Sox got infield, outfield Miguel Vargas, second baseman, shortstop, third baseman Jarrell Perez, and third baseman, shortstop, second baseman Alexander Alberson. I think it is. The Dodgers acquired second baseman outfielder Tommy Edman, right-handed pitcher Michael Kopech, and right-handed pitcher Oliver Gonzalez, while the Cardinals acquired left-handed pitcher Erick Fedde and outfielder Tommy Pham. It was a very solid move for all 3 teams. White Sox get some good prospects. Dodgers get a solid infielder, outfielder, and a good arm for the bullpen. They also get a pitching prospect, but the Cardinals make out as the winners of this trade, in my opinion, with Erick Fedde and Tommy Pham. Trade 21 is between Toronto and Seattle, where the Blue Jays acquired outfielder RJ Schreck, and the Mariners acquired first baseman DH Justin Turner. So another bat going to Seattle, which they so desperately needed. Nice move for them. Good job on Seattle's part. Trade 22 is between Toronto and Houston. Toronto fleeced Houston on this. They got right-handed pitcher Jake Bloss, outfielder first baseman Joey Loperfido, and infielder Will Wagner. The Astros acquired left-handed pitcher Yusei Kikuchi. Completely fleeced Houston. That was too much of an overpay to get a guy like Yusei Kikuchi. They could have gotten him for less. Good job on the Blue Jays for fleecing Houston. Trade 23 is between Tampa and LA. Another Tampa Bay trade where he's acquired Michael Flynn, right-handed pitcher, pitching prospect, and the Dodgers acquired infielder, outfielder Ahmed Rosario. So nice move on both teams' parts for that. Trade 24 is between Cincinnati and Milwaukee. Reds acquired outfielder Joey Weimer, I think it is, Weimer, and right-handed pitcher Jacob Junis. Brewers acquired right-handed pitcher Frankie Montas from the Reds, so it gives them another staple piece to that pitching rotation and gives them somewhat of an ace for now until Brandon Woodruff, if he is hurt, until he comes back. If not, he'll be right behind Brandon Woodruff. Trade 25 is between San Francisco and Atlanta. Giants acquire infielder Savion Caballos and left-handed pitcher Tyler Matzik, while the Braves reacquire outfielder Jose Soler and left-handed pitcher Luke Jackson. Trade 20 is between the Cubs and the Yankees, where the Cubs acquired right-handed pitcher Jack Neely and infielder Ben Cowles, while the Yankees acquired right-handed pitcher Mark Leiter Jr., the son of Mark Leiter Sr., nephew of Al Leiter, and cousin of Jack Leiter. Trade 27 is between Miami and Baltimore. This was a nice trade for the Orioles. They gave up second baseman Connor Norby and outfielder Kyle Stowers, and they got left-handed pitcher Taylor Rogers, the starting pitcher from the Miami Marlins. Trade 28 is between Miami and Arizona. The Marlins got cash considerations, while the Diamondbacks got Josh Bell, the first baseman. Trade 29 is between Houston and the Yankees. The Yankees got IFA pool money, which is huge, and right-handed pitcher Kelly Austin. The Astros acquired left-handed pitcher Caleb Ferguson. Trade 30 is between Detroit and Texas. The Tigers acquired right-handed pitcher Joseph Montezuo, I think it's how he pronounces it, and right-handed pitcher Chase Lee. The Rangers acquired left-handed pitcher Andrew Chafin. Nice move on the Rangers' part. Trade 31 is between Oakland and the Mets, where the Athletics acquired right-handed pitcher Cade Morris, and the Mets acquired right-handed pitcher Paul Blackburn. Trade 32 is between Miami and San Diego, and another whopper of a trade. Marlins acquired left-handed pitcher Robbie Snelling, right-handed pitcher or left-handed pitcher Robbie Snelling, right-handed pitcher Adam Mazur, infielder outfielder Graham Pauley, and infielder Jay Besters, I think it is. Again, I pronounced the name wrong. I apologize. The Padres got left-handed pitcher Tanner Scott and right-handed pitcher Brian Hoeing. Trade 33 is between Cincinnati and Boston. The Reds acquired right-handed pitcher Ovis Portis, while the Red Sox acquired right-handed pitcher Lucas Sims for that bullpen. Nice move on the Red Sox part. Trade 34, which was the big money trade, one of the other big money trades between the Dodgers and the Tigers. Tigers got catcher first baseman Theron Lorenzo and shortstop Trey Sweeney, who the Dodgers had acquired from the Yankees, for Yorbert Vivas and Victor Gonzalez. Except this time the Dodgers got right-handed pitcher Jack Flaherty. Now the story with Flaherty is he was going to go to the Yankees, but the Yankees ended up backing out of that trade because of his medicals. Trade 35 was between San Diego and the Yankees. This was the final trade that the Yankees made. Padres acquired outfielder Brandon Lockridge, while the Yankees acquired right-handed pitcher Anil De Los Santos and right-handed pitcher Thomas Balboni Jr. Trade 36 was between Philadelphia and Baltimore. Phillies got right-handed pitcher, second baseman, shortstop Seth Johnson, and right-handed pitcher Moises Chance. The Orioles acquired left-handed pitcher Giovanni Soto. It's a good move for them. Or Gregory Soto. Left-handed pitcher Gregory Soto went to Baltimore. So it's a good move for Baltimore. Gives them another bullpen piece to help out with Kimbrel and while Felix Bautista is out. Trade 37 was between Detroit and San Francisco. Tigers acquired right-handed pitcher Eric Silva, and the Giants acquired outfielder Eric Canha. Trade 38 was between the Nationals and the Diamondbacks. The Nationals reacquired infielder Andres Chaparro, while the Diamondbacks acquired right-handed pitcher Dylan Floro. Trade 39 was between St. Louis and Tampa. The Cardinals acquired right-handed pitcher Sean Armstrong, while the Rays acquired outfielder Dylan Carlson. It's a good move for Tampa. It's a veteran piece, but it's a good move. Gives them some veteran presence in that clubhouse as well. Trade 40 was between Toronto and the Dodgers, where the Blue Jays acquired left-handed pitcher Ryan Yarbrough, and the Dodgers acquired outfielder Kevin Kiermaier. And then the final trade of the deadline was between the White Sox and the Orioles, where the White Sox acquired left-handed pitcher Trey McGo, and the Orioles acquired outfielder DH Eloy Jimenez. So, my final grades for each team, I would say for the Yankees, I'm giving them a C. They could have done more. Mariners, I'm giving them a B+. Tampa Bay, they're getting an A. I mean, this is what they do. This is what they do every year. They go out, trade their pieces, get prospects in return. Orioles, they're going to get a B+ as well. They made a couple nice moves. Arizona, they added, so they're going to get a B+ as well. But I think the winners for me in this this deadline was the Tampa Bay Rays. I'll even give the Dodgers an A- just because they did add some pieces that can really help them. But they still do have holes to fill. But you guys let me know what you think and what your final grades are. Until next time, you guys have a great rest of your night, and I will talk to you next time.